You guys remember back in November at the University of Kentucky, there was one white college student who verbally and physically attacked another young freshman there that was working in the dorm area, apartments there. Regardless, her name is Kyla Spring, the victim of that attack where N-words were flown around, the B word was tossed around. Now she's finally speaking out with her mother in a televised interview about what happened and how she managed to stay so calm while this actually happened. Let's look at a reminder of what went down.
I hope. Could you stop, please? No. Could you stop? No. Thank you. You're a bitch. Who would you? I did not get paid enough for this. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. You're a bitch. You're a bitch. Yeah. I got the phone video. Me too. I got the phone. You're a bitch. Trying to get me to get her to like get chairs and things. No, I'm drunk. You're drunk. You're a bitch.
Many minutes of that sloppy, drunken, racist attack. She was eventually arrested. Her name was Sophia Rosing. By the way, a senior was the attacker, and then that freshman was the one that stayed calm. She and her mother, Kyla, did speak out about it and talk about what was going through her mind as she was going through that entire ordeal, saying, I don't get paid enough for this. What was she thinking? Let's watch.
I was thinking that I know the drill. I was raised to act a certain way if I ever encounter a racial attack or assault. But I also was very disheartened that it happened to me while I was working. And I really just wanted to make sure I acted appropriately so that I could keep my job, because the script could have been flipped at any time if I had retaliated.
Because first, you didn't think that she lived in the dorm. You really did wonder, is she okay? That was your first thing. And then she just started screaming. I understand she used the N-word over 33 times.
It was told to me that it was used over 200 times.
So that was the scenario that she had to go through as she was dealing with this whole thing. They also continued to ask her and her mom, what is this that they were thinking could have been the results, and then actually their response to it. And her mother had a bit of an answer that I think shows how much of a better person she is than many others. Let's watch that part too.
I'm not trying to encourage violence at all, but there are some people at home, maybe some black folks watching this, saying, why turn the other cheek? Why do we always gotta take that high road? You have somebody yelling racist things at you, punching and kicking and biting. There might be some people watching saying, why didn't you fight back?
I would say to that person and those people, you can fight back but not with violence. Love is an appropriate way to fight back. Respect, honor, and grace is also fighting back. So it's not bowing down in a way that it's weak. It's bowing down in a way that honors who you are and the truth and the integrity, your character, and who God created you to be. And so what I also like about the fact that this happened, as terrible as it is that this actually occurs more often than a violent response to racism.
Absolutely true. And another point there that was made by Kyla was she was thinking, I don't want to lose my job because I know how quickly and easily this script can be flipped on me. And I think you can see from how her mother probably taught her as she was coming up, hey, this is our approach, this is what you do, because you have to become above that. Because we always know the way that scenario could be if that looked like just a fight between two folks who were both at the same level of anger and animosity towards each other. There was more to this, but I want to get y'all's thoughts on this first.
Yeah, so I'm curious what Sharon thinks here too, but I'll just jump in real quick with, look, I thought she handled the interaction perfectly, and so, but at the same time, I'm a little torn, right? So what do I mean by that? So first, if she had reacted by fighting back, her and her mom are absolutely right. They would have been the ones that were smeared, and we've seen this happen literally hundreds of times and covered it. So a black person gets attacked, if they dare to defend themselves, then they are the ones who get blamed for it, right? And so, and oftentimes I've heard from African American friends, et cetera, and you guys can speak to it, that you have to give your kids a speech about it and about several different things, including this one, right? On the other hand, I feel like as part of Southern culture, African Americans historically were taught forgiveness. Well, that sounds like a lovely thing to teach people, right? But it's always black folks forgiving white folks who did racist things, right? It never goes the other direction. So that uneven playing field drives me nuts. So that's why I'm torn about it. Sharon, what do you think?
I'm torn too. You know, when we see all those church members blown away, and then the next day they step before the microphones and they forgive their young racist attacker. I don't know why it always has to be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing. I think the mother in this case is a saint. She's perfect, and her daughter, if you will, played it just right. The talk is even more than that. We have to indoctrinate our children to the point where she's called the N-word. She goes on to say in that interview, 200 times she is being physically assaulted, but she knows well within her right, if she swings on this petite, this pint-sized racist, it will go another way. It will be flipped and it will make her look like the ugly one, and Blondie will get the benefit of the doubt. It frustrates me big time, but I see what the mother did here, and she's right. Her daughter played it just right, and it just sucks.
You never think you'd find yourself in that type of situation, so you're in it, and then it kicks in of what it is you're supposed to. Because there's many automatic reactions that many folks may have. But again, you guys talked about forgiveness. So when it comes to the forgiveness line, and you talk about Dylan Roof and how he attacked those folks, and then those families had to come out and say they forgive him. Not had to, they decided to. And many folks had the same concern and worry, like, man, why is it we always have to say this? Or it doesn't happen a lot of times. Shifting gears to that, there's not ever much of an apology. It's the story the other day of this older grandmother who lived alone in Colorado. Cops came up, SWAT destroyed her house, broke her things, found nothing there, asked if her criminal son was there, asked if she had a criminal grandchild that showed up, all off of some random person's phone call. You know when they apologized? After months and after months, and after the whole thing blew up, it went viral. Now the punishments are coming. In this particular case, guess who hasn't apologized? Sophia Rosing has not apologized to Kyla at all, but she did respond to that problem as well. Here's this last video.
Sophia Rosing's attorney says that she is, Kyla, humiliated, embarrassed, and remorseful by this incident. What do you say to that?
I say that there is an opportunity for growth in this situation. And I also say that this is an opportunity for not just her to grow and educate herself, but people who might have acted similarly or think similarly to her.
Are you surprised you haven't heard directly from her yet? An apology? I mean, coming by the next day even to find out how you are.
It hurts, but I'm not surprised.
She is not surprised, but it still hurts. And we also know, they're on television. They're giving their honest responses of what has happened, but there's always that urge to be like, we have to end this now. This stuff has to end. And in order for that to happen, there needs to be more people than just Kyla and her mother doing it. And as we saw, I also covered this afterwards, there was a restorative session. Many folks at the college came out in full support of her, and she got to speak there too.
So that's great, I love that. I love when there's dialogue afterwards, but the perpetrator being involved in that dialogue makes a huge difference, right? So I mean, she talks about opportunity for growth. So I'm not in the camp of, hey, somebody said something racist, etc. Let's fire them immediately. It depends on the situation. If you're a cop, you're a teacher, that's different, right? But at the same time, I'm also definitely not in the camp of, man, let's just let it go. No. Like, do a mini truth and reconciliation within your community, right? Come together, explain why that's hurtful. Have the other person go, oh, I get it now, right? Maybe if they do get it, right? And so that would be the opportunity, but it's an opportunity blown when the person who was the one that did the attack in the first place doesn't participate. And look, constantly, I mean, the Dylan Roof is a perfect example that Sharon gave about, and we talked about it when it happened. It drove me crazy that the families gave forgiveness to Dylan Roof. I look, I'm not black, but I don't forgive Dylan Roof. Hell no, absolutely not. I don't forgive any of these sons of bitches. Okay, so that's me. I'm different, right? But I wanted to add this important part to it. I'm in such an interesting category in America because I'm neither white nor black, and I get treated as white or a person of color depending on the context. So since I was born Muslim, a lot of the right wing say, oh, ha, you're brown. They say it in an accusatory way and treat me as part of the others, and they direct hate towards me, etc. Right? But on the other hand, I didn't grow up black. So I got into a ton of fights, and I never got the reaction that a black kid would have gotten. I know even at our school, a couple of black kids got into a fight with a couple of white kids, and they instantly called it a race riot. Like, wait a minute, I got in a fight with maybe those same exact kids a couple of weeks ago, and nobody called it a race riot. And then he took on the tenor of, is it a racial problem because of the few African Americans that were in our school? It's so unfair. I can't bear how unfair it is. But others in this country seem to bear it just fine.
They seem to be.
Yeah. Well said. I think people are very comfortable in this light. Had that video not been so explicit, had we not been able to look like, through the front door on it, there would be people, perhaps people in Congress even, making excuses for Blondie and acting like what she did wasn't so bad, or she was drunk. And I think the lawyer's statement, and I understand you want to legal everything up when you're representing a client like this, but it's on video. Everybody's talking about it. She's banned from campus. She's kicked out of school. This is her, okay? Unless there's somebody else walking around with her, identical DNA, it's her. And it seems to me that there's only one way out of this, and it's through her front door. She needs to step forward, apologize profusely, and then just be super authentic and say it. This is me. Racist, I've said a lot of racist things. I've done a lot of racist things. This is who I am. I don't wish to be it anymore. Help me. Whatever it is, it just needs to be through the front door, because I don't know how much her apology would even mean, but the fact that she hasn't given one yet, that's telling.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, Jayar. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.